Let's make a coffee here. Put in the cup. Starting our day. You can't smell this, but I can. Holy smokes. It smells like dank soil. This is a little cross stitch that the beloved Miss Tenaple did, 20 years ago, 25, maybe 30 years ago, probably mid-90s. Anyways, good work. She does good work. Fish. That's my inside tank. I'm gonna go inside and show you guys the new lighting. 2 of you are here. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, you're live. So this rug, I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. I'm gonna lay that out here in the studio, but I wanted to show you, this is the behind the scenes, how the show gets made. So, a little bit of moving around. I used to have that big dome light right here, and it went straight on my face that way. Well, I put it over there to catch the right side of my face. Oh, look, someone's in here. There you go. Sharon and Marsh Mom. Hello, good morning. Love my coffee. Good morning. Quadheads, good morning. Just for the members here, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for picking up a membership. I'm trying to get those numbers up. So I'm gonna make sure I feed you guys lots of good behind the scenes stuff. This is where I talk about how I create my show. The equipment, Donna Allen, hello. This is, so if I talk about news, it's about the strategy of news and kind of how I, get my news and stuff like that, if anything. So anyways, I moved the camera. This is so low tech and so bad, but let's swing this around. Sorry for how wonky this is, but there's 2 ways to do that I do camera. One is I have my super low tech camera, it's at the top of my computer right here. This is what I've used for most of my shows across the entire history of my channel. Maybe half my shows, I should say. The other half are on this crummy Logitech camera. And I found a new position for it, about 3/4. Thank you, Sharon. I'll get there. And I just put it on this piece of wood. It's just sitting on there right now, like floating on a piece of wood between my main computer where I do my work, and then this is my main computer, and then this is my Cintiq where I draw my thumbnails. Let me bring up the screen here so you can see it. Come on. Did my computer? There it is. So there's the last Chuck Schumer one thumbnail that I did on the Cintiq. So I get this little stylus out and I can draw right on the screen. And that's a normal computer that I record on. There's the new lighting system there on a new thing. I don't know what I'm doing. But what I do is I look at the video and see how the light is coming in on that thing on my face. And make sure that we get a good sculpt on the face. We can probably, let's look over here at some of the details of the background. These are just, those go on the corners of a house, and I just put them together that wrought iron. I've gone through all my little serial premiums from the late 70s character playing for the game Neverhood. But those and these birds, these are also from called RNL serial premiums from the and then this is a little D&D orc that I haven't, this is one of the few that I didn't paint. I've got a little mini tiny Bible back here, just a few scriptures in that one. This is a cow skull that I like a lot. Here's my Van Til's Apologetic by Bonson. Cross, this is one of my books, Newts, over here. It freezes a little bit in intervals. Oh, that could be that my internet's going in and out too. Here's my resin cast T-Rex over here. Bunch of books. Those are my old books. Inventory. Are you guys getting a bad signal? Is it not working out? I worked on my painting yesterday and I'm really happy with it now. My oil painting. It's looking good. We're getting there. My sons played Earthworm Jim, says Terry. I would watch them play. Got your Earthworm Jim book. Gave it to him for Christmas. Thank you, Terry. I didn't get to tell you people. Terry, I wrote a book on the making of Earthworm Jim. And the comic book available on my Spotify store. You go to Doug TeNapel Comic Library on Spotify, and you'll see my books there. Am I cutting in and out, or is this okay? I never know if the tech is working or not. But now we're having coffee. I'm trying to get all caught up on Israel and what's going on with Hamas. And I know that's not, I'm focused on it, so it's really only to the degree that it affects us. Video is cutting in and out. Maybe I should, in and out, sorry. Maybe I should do this and hold the phone still. Maybe that'll help. Huh. Well, might have to cut this short. Motivate me to start a second pot. Your feed is breaking up. Well, but I'm disconnected from the internet. Let me look. Hold. How about now? This should be much better. I wasn't connected to Wi-Fi. My phone, it keeps just falling off the house Wi-Fi. Now it's better. We're here. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I was trying to use my phone data. So now everyone's going to leave because it was 8 minutes. Was it that way for the entire 8 minutes? Out of curiosity, or was it just something recent? I'm still learning how it works. Sorry. And then there's this big checklist that I have to go through before I turn anything on to go on the air. It's like, check your internet, check this, check that. And usually clearing up to normal as Doug In Exile gets. Yeah, much better. Thanks, RBG and gang. You guys are also my tech support, so I need to make, there's Sabrina, I need to make sure that you guys see it correct. Almost the whole time, says Sharon, it was bad. Well, that'll make sure no one watches this thing. If they watch, they turn it on, they're like, I'm not gonna watch this. This is all chopped up. Technical difficulties. And I really, just as an art philosophy, I believe in content over presentation. Like, I like good presentation. Hi, Katerina. But I just tend to ignore the presentation, camera quality, sound quality, design of the studio, lighting. I just kind of go, I'm just bringing the news. Hit that thumbs up, please, says Sabrina. My good people. You know, these are kind of almost like private sessions. So the thumbs up, it's good, but it's like compared to it's my normal channel. There's Sherry LaSalle, hello. No more BS, please. Um, the thumbs up are more important on the regular videos that I post where I get like, 1,000 thumbs up. That's significant. And the channel, my first video I did yesterday on Antifa, YouTube chose to just push it out to tens of thousands more, maybe even 100,000 more people than usually watch this show. So there's a lot of new people coming in suddenly, just last night on the show. And then on memberships, I think there's about 140 members now, which is very good. Trying to get that number up. And then don't forget the famous date night with Angie and I is this Friday night. That's at the date night level. But mostly I just do these kinds of, this is like a journal almost that I'm sharing with my members, the Quadheads. Remember, I got the idea from Rush Limbaugh. So I started calling all my people the Quads, Quad Club, because Rush Limbaugh, all of his audience said ditto. They called themselves ditto heads because they would all go over all these compliments on Rush, and he just wanted to just say, okay, just say ditto, because it means that you're saying that you're in agreement with the community. So quad heads is our way of saying we're in agreement with the community, love your show, everything's good, we're happy. Well, Rush Limbaugh started the ditto cam. That was his subscriber thing where you could pay extra to see him on camera on a ditto cam. Some of it was free, some of it was paid. And so this is our quad cam, is what I'm calling it. Maybe Angie will give you a break and host a quadcast by herself. RBG, that will never happen. William Kennedy, ditto. Angie, I have to drag her on camera to even talk. Miss Rush, he and Charlie are having deep conversations up there. True. It was also weird because Rush Limbaugh, I watched his faith develop. I remember, because I used to get his newsletter, I used to read him all the time, and he released a list of his books that he was reading every year and things that were influencing him. And then one year, probably in the late 90s, he put on his book list, and it was his brother, is it David Limbaugh, is his brother, who said, who was a Christian and was always trying to bring Rush to Christ. And suddenly on his book list, Rush wrote that he was reading C.S. Lewis' Mere Christianity. And after that, he really started developing his faith. So, and the same thing happened with Charlie Kirk. Yeah, David Limbaugh is his brother. Thank you, RBG. And I love David Limbaugh. I follow him on Twitter every day. Charlie Kirk, he was a Christian when he arrived, but he got far more conservative Christian as he went. So when I first heard of him, this is probably around 2018 or 19, he would not oppose gay marriage. And by the end, he was very much in opposition to it. So he got more biblical over time. And a lot of that had to do with dating and marrying Erica Kirk, who he always says is way more conservative than him. And she's way more, they're both very grounded people anyways. Yesterday was Charlie Kirk's day. Lewis is my son's favorite books. Yeah, C.S. Lewis is Mere Christianity. He has another book of essays called God in the Dock that is amazing. Just a bunch of random, and then the beloved Miss Naples is reading the Space Trilogy. I've read the Space Trilogy a ton. And I think that Hideous Strength, the third book in the Space Trilogy, is one of my favorite all-time books, because that's C.S. Lewis in the 50s, really bringing up how the university is being taken over by a satanic force. And that's because Lewis and Tolkien, they taught and lectured Oxford, Cambridge, all that. The more you know. Yeah. C.S. Lewis has great books, yeah. But mere Christianity, I always tell you guys I'm a barely literate comic book artist. That really is where I started. Like when I graduated college in '88, Screw Tape Letters is incredible, good one, RPG. When I graduated college, I really hadn't read that many books. I didn't start doing my reading until after college, and I got the great books. And I went through them all, like Aristotle, Pascal, Shakespeare. I just hadn't read any of it. Moby Dick, I read all of Moby Dick. And I got a great books of the Western world. It was the 54 volume set. And then Larry Arnn went through all of the great books, kind of in a lecture series on Hugh Hewitt in 2001. And that changed my life forever. I went back through the books. And so I really gave myself a pretty formal classic education, but it was after college on my own, because I think when I graduated high school, I had only read, Sabrina, I have thousands of books. Of course, I won't read most of them, but David made an appearances on Mike Heiser podcast, Naked Bible, brilliant man. Yes, he is. Sally, good morning. Erica and Charlie had no budget for books. Loved them. Gave my set away to a young skull. Yeah, my favorite now, I just read a little mini book. It was a sermon by Thomas Chalmers, who wrote in 1840. My pastor's a big Chalmers fan. I've been reading all the old great evangelists in early America. So Jonathan Edwards. I've already read a lot of Wesley. Kind of the Great Awakening guys. I'm always saturated in Calvinism versus Arminianism, so I've read a lot of the Reformers and the Molinists, they're called, on those that I read philosophy. I write fiction. I tend not to read fiction. I tend to read pretty dense philosophy. I remember my book club. We read so many together. We need more book clubs. Sabrina and I ran a Chesterton reading group at my house from about 2008 for about 4 years. Oh, I read Watchmen Nee. Yeah. I read one of Watchmen Nee's, whatever his big one was in the early 90s. And he kind of went off the reservation. I don't know what happened to him. Hulking Rex, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Hulking Rex. I'm just thinking about the big news of the day. I kind of want to do, so I have to pick my 3 or 4 major stories, and then the rest is just kind of throw in news as it happens. But I really want to hit ICE today and find out what ICE is doing. Trump today at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 2 p.m. our time, is having a news conference with Kash Patel. And I believe that's going to announce a really big either investigation or an indictment. One of Watchmen Nee's followers went off the reservation calling himself Witness Lee. That might be what I'm thinking of too. But I think Trump and Kash Patel are going to announce some really big deep state revelation. Could be an investigation. Could be formal charges against someone. Oop. Excuse me. Goodness. Someone yesterday made me super self-conscious in the comments. They said, did you pick your nose before you went on the air? And I go, why would someone say that? So now I'm afraid, like, was he talking about I always have nose hair, Trump's meeting with Javier Milei was awesome. Yeah. Ready to go to the Atlanta airport. I'll be listening all day. Thank you, Sharon. That Javier Milei thing I liked because Javier wrote that recommendation that Trump get the Nobel Prize and then framed it and handed it to him at a meeting. So I gotta wipe my nose. Hold on. I can't do that on the camera. Okay. You know, you're live and you can't edit this stuff out. So bad camera at the start, sneezing. So ICE, that Trump and Cash Patel thing will probably be the 6 o'clock drop. And then I have the 3 o'clock double wide that'll be, I'm really trying to, I want to report on Hamas killing a bunch of Palestinians, you know. If you've not read anything by Father Fenelon, I have not. Sounds like someone was rude yesterday. Who even thinks of such a thing? F them, says Sally. Yeah, I don't take comments that seriously, guys. I read all of the comments, and then I don't try to reorient the show to address them that much. I feel like I have to put out a product, I have to put out a stance, I have to put out a position first, and then wait and see what happens, and give it a long time, you know. Just trying to be rude. Well, everyone's rude. Oh, I am going to cover that. There's a big text blow up last night that the young Republicans said a bunch of racist things, and I'm going to go into the tactics on that. Because that does affect our side in a pretty big way. I heard John Bolton's next. Oh yeah, John Bolton's next, definitely gonna get whacked. We just like communicating with your pal, with our pal. Yeah, John Bolton. I think he's already Loctite and done. I want to see what happens with Jack Smith. It's Jack Smith who, and he's a true believer, so he's not going to rat anyone out, but he's really the key to who guided you, who told you to do what. Was it Biden? Was it Merrick Garland? It sounds like Merrick Garland did not properly weaponize the government to the degree that Biden wanted, because Biden said he wished that Garland started his investigations earlier. Was John Bolton hiding those documents under his mustache? Yes. He's going to get nailed probably for selling secrets to other countries. Quadheads, there's Rose. I think he was selling intel to Qatar because they have those photos of Bolton walking on the streets of Qatar. And you know, Qatar is a big one that was funding and covering for Hamas. Remember when we blew up, when Israel went after Hamas, they went into Qatar, and they were all the rich heads of Hamas were secretly meeting over there. And Trump is flushing, he's cleaning all that out. He's cleaned out the world. He has changed the access of every country in the entire Middle East, including Muslim countries outside the Middle East, like Indonesia. What's another one? It's Islamic, but outside of the Middle East. Pakistan, does that count? Yeah. I think it'll be big. Trump does not disappoint. He's pulling the terrorists out. Israel basically decimated their leadership. And the rest of Hamas, they're so primitive. We're getting messages back from the hostages now that they were talking to Hamas the whole time, you know. And they were just saying the Hamas people, they really are a tiny isolated cult, and they're not allowed to see outside information. And he was saying one of his jailers, you know, the holders of the hostage, said he just saw this amazing movie called Titanic, you know, from like the late 90s. They only just now saw that movie. So that hasn't even penetrated Hamas culture, don't even know about the movie Titanic. Trump's years of relationships with leaders of the world, pre-politics, has paid off with huge dividends. Yeah, Trump, I think he's always been working for sure with Israel, But Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, you know, he's huge. This is a long game. And it was Kushner that went, and he did visit Indonesia, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. For 10 years, Jared Kushner has been laying the groundwork for this big victory, for world victory for Trump. Him and what's the other one named? Kittner. Kittner is the other one that works for Trump. They said Hamas was very scared of Trump. They absolutely were. They were very scared because Hamas knows they can use our media against Israel. They use it, Al Jazeera and their media and MSNBC and all those. They use it to get all of America to side with Palestine, with Hamas, and make Gaza the big thing and Israel the big bad guy. So that's where the liberals have been lied to for so long. Very strange. Lutnick, yeah. God bless his entire administration. I love Lutnick too. And he was the one, I believe, he's the economist, I believe, that gave Trump the idea for the tariffs. I mean, Trump has always been pro-tariff. That's what probably attracted Lutnick to Trump. But the actual think tank of what the tariffs would do and theorizing on it, that was Lutnick telling Trump, go nuts on the tariffs right now. So, and Lutnick is a Jew, so he was really big on, he was meeting a lot with the hostage family. So it just shows how Trump's administration is so strong with so much overlapping, amazing people, Marco Rubio. It's a phenom. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. I've got about an hour to put my first episode together, so I got to get to work. I just wanted to stop in and hang with y'all and say thanks for being members. We're going to have a blast. Good morning. I just had my V8. I don't drink coffee. Shirley, we got to get you on coffee. It's so good for you. I do like V8 too. The beloved Miss Tenaple 2 days ago made a gazpacho soup and used. We had old V8 and she cracked it open and it just about blew up. It was so fermented. So we had to buy a new jug of V8 to make some wonderful gazpacho soup. Also, Bissett getting and following the money. Yeah, Bissett is brilliant in that. When is your next live? Nick, and this is where I can only apologize to you guys because I can't really plan these yet. So for sure, Friday night, I have Angie's and my date night where we're trying to do those, I believe at 7 p.m. Central. See y'all later. Have a good one. I got to get to work. Thank you guys for your support. Thanks for hanging with me this morning. Have a good day and blessings on you. I went to my men's Bible study at 6 a.m. We read Isaiah chapter 63. And it's amazing. Okay. God bless you all. I will get to work, bring you guys great news, and I'm looking forward to a really fun day. Have a good day.